Imagine waking up in the Philippines, walking outside in shorts and a t-shirt, grabbing breakfast for a few dollars, and knowing you no longer have to rush to work. Your monthly retirement income is exactly $1,000. That sounds pretty good, especially when you see videos claiming you can live comfortably in the Philippines for almost nothing. But can you actually retire here on $1,000 a month in 2026? Or is that idea becoming outdated? The answer is yes, but there is a very important catch. Where you live and how you live will determine whether that $1,000 feels comfortable or disappears before the month is over. As of August 2026, $1,000 converts to roughly $61,000 Philippine pesos, depending on the exchange rate and any fees charged when you transfer or exchange your money. On August 17th, the Development Bank of the Philippines showed a booking rate of about 61.45 pesos to $1. That gives us roughly 61,450 pesos to work with. And while that may sound like a decent amount of money in the Philippines, the country is no longer as cheap as some retirement videos from several years ago might suggest. Philippine headline inflation was 6.2% in July 2026, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. The first and probably biggest decision is housing. If your dream is a modern condo in one of Manila's most expensive business districts, $1,000 a month is going to be difficult. Current crowdsourced cost data shows that a one-bedroom apartment in central Manila averages roughly 33,000 pesos per month, while a similar apartment outside the center averages about 18,000 pesos. That means you could spend around half your entire retirement income on rent before buying a single meal. Add condominium fees, electricity, internet, transportation, and everything else, and suddenly that cheap retirement does not look so cheap. Move away from Manila, though, and the picture starts changing. In Davao, current data puts the average one-bedroom apartment outside the city center at around 11,000 pesos per month, with central apartments averaging around 17,000 pesos. Cebu sits somewhere between the two, although popular areas of Cebu City can also get expensive. A one-bedroom apartment outside central Cebu currently averages roughly 19,000 pesos. And if you go beyond the biggest cities into smaller cities or provincial communities, you may find even better deals. This is the first secret to making a $1,000 retirement work. You cannot simply choose the most expensive neighborhood and expect Philippine prices to magically rescue your budget. Now let us build a realistic example. Suppose you choose an affordable area in Davao or a smaller Philippine city and find a simple but comfortable apartment for around 12,000 pesos per month. Set aside around 6,000 pesos for electricity, water, and household utilities. Add roughly 2,500 pesos for internet and your mobile phone. Budget around 15,000 pesos for groceries and meals, especially if you eat Filipino food, shop at local markets, cook at home, and avoid making imported products a daily habit. That brings your basic housing, utilities, communications, and food expenses to around 3,500 pesos. Transportation might add another 3,000 to 4,000 pesos if you mainly use public transportation and occasional taxis or ride services. A local public transport trip in cities such as Manila, Cebu, and Davao can still cost only a small fraction of what transportation costs in many Western countries. Add perhaps 5,000 pesos for entertainment, coffee, eating out, hobbies, and the occasional day trip. You are now somewhere around 44,000 pesos. On paper, you still have more than 17,000 pesos left from your $1,000 budget. And this is where many retirement calculations become misleading, because life is not a spreadsheet where nothing goes wrong. You need money for clothing, household repairs, medicine, dental work, visa-related expenses, replacing a broken phone, transportation to another city, and all the other costs that do not appear every month but eventually appear. If you allocate another 5,000 pesos for miscellaneous expenses and keep several thousand pesos as a monthly emergency reserve, that comfortable-looking surplus becomes much smaller. Then there is electricity. The Philippines is tropical, and if you are accustomed to running air conditioning for most of the day, do not underestimate the bill. In July 2026, Meralco's residential rate for a typical household reached about 14 or 83 pesos per kilowatt hour. A household consuming 200 kilowatt hours would therefore face a considerably different electricity bill from someone using a fan most of the day and air conditioning only at night. This is one of those lifestyle choices that sounds small, but can make a surprisingly large difference over an entire year. Food works the same way. Eating like a local and eating like you never left the United States, Canada, Australia, or Europe are two completely different budgets. Current cost data puts an inexpensive restaurant meal at roughly 350 pesos in Manila, 250 pesos in Cebu, and around 300 pesos in Davao. You can absolutely eat well without spending a fortune, especially if you enjoy Filipino food and cook regularly. But imported cheese, wine, Western breakfast products, specialty health foods, and frequent meals at international restaurants can quietly destroy the $1,000 plan. Healthcare deserves even more attention, because this is where I would be very cautious about calling $1,000 a comfortable retirement budget. A healthy retiree in his or her early retirement years might spend very little on medical care during an ordinary month. But retirement is not about surviving an ordinary month. It is about being financially prepared for an abnormal one. A hospital admission, surgery, long-term medication, dental procedure, or serious illness can overwhelm a tight monthly budget very quickly. So if $1,000 is your entire income and you have no separate savings, no suitable health coverage, and no emergency fund, your financial position is much more fragile than the monthly numbers suggest. There is also the legal side of retirement. Foreigners should not assume that having $1,000 per month automatically gives them the right to permanently retire in the country. The Philippine Retirement Authority currently offers the Special Resident Retirees Visa to qualified applicants age 40 and older, but the program has financial requirements beyond ordinary monthly living expenses. For example, the current SRRV Classic program requires different visa deposits depending on the applicant's age and pension status. A pensioner age 50 or older currently needs a $15,000 visa deposit, while other categories require larger amounts. The program also has annual fees, so your retirement budget and your immigration requirements need to be planned separately. Another issue is currency risk. Right now, a stronger dollar gives a retiree earning dollars more pesos to spend. But exchange rates move. If your entire retirement plan works only because $1 currently buys more than 60 pesos, what happens if the peso strengthens in the future? The same $1,000 income would suddenly buy fewer groceries, fewer restaurant meals, and less rent in peso terms. A sustainable retirement plan should have enough breathing room that a currency movement does not force you to change your entire lifestyle. So who can realistically make $1,000 a month work? A single retiree who chooses an affordable city, rents a modest home, eats mostly local food, uses public transportation, controls electricity consumption, and does not require expensive entertainment could probably live on that amount. Someone who already has substantial emergency savings and healthcare coverage is in an even stronger position. In that situation, $1,000 can provide a simple and enjoyable lifestyle, especially outside the most expensive parts of Metro Manila. But if you want a premium condo in BGC or Makati, frequent restaurant meals, imported groceries, regular Grab rides, nightlife, international travel, and air conditioning running almost around the clock, $1,000 is not a realistic, comfortable retirement budget. Even Numbio's current estimate for a single person in Manila is about $595 per month before rent is included. Once rent is added, there is very little margin left inside a $1,000 budget. And that is really the answer. Yes, you can retire in the Philippines on $1,000 a month, but the word that matters is not Philippines. It is lifestyle. The Philippines gives you options. You can live very simply in a smaller city and make your money stretch surprisingly far. Or you can live in an expensive urban neighborhood where $1,000 feels tight almost immediately. The people who succeed on this budget are usually not the people trying to recreate an expensive Western lifestyle for half the price. They are the people willing to adapt. If I were planning this retirement, I would also avoid thinking of $1,000 as the target. I would think of it as the minimum operating budget and keep emergency savings, major medical expenses, international flights, and other large unexpected costs outside that monthly amount. That changes the question from, can I survive in the Philippines on $1,000 to something far more important. Can I enjoy my retirement without constantly worrying about the next unexpected bill? So yes, the $1,000 Philippine retirement is still possible, but it is not automatic, and it is definitely not for everyone. Choose your location carefully, understand your lifestyle, protect yourself against medical emergencies, and leave room for prices to change. Do that, and the Philippines can still offer a remarkably affordable retirement. Ignore those details, and paradise can become financially stressful very quickly. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more practical videos about living, retiring, and managing your money in the Philippines. And before you go, check out the other videos on the channel because they might answer the next question you have about making life in the Philippines actually work.